Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, and this is Science Explosion at Hudson Public Library. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so today we are going to be making hot ice. All right, if you don't know what that is okay. We will be getting into that, but I think that this is a really fun, simple one. So let's get started. All right, so if you want to just watch, that is fine, but if you want to follow along, you're going to need a few ingredients here. So you're going to need 4 cups of vinegar, just plain white vinegar. You're going to need 4 tablespoons of baking powder. I just have it in a little Ziploc here. And then you're going to need a pot with a heat source. I'm just using a hot pad. You can use a stove, or I guess if you cook it over a fire or whatever. Then you're going to need a dish. I'm just using a metal pie tin. You're going to want a spoon. You're going to need the things to measure out with. So I've got a tablespoon, not a teaspoon, a tablespoon, and a measuring cup. And then last but not least, you're going to need a jar or something else to pour it into. If you want, you could also just use this measuring cup itself. All right, so let's get started on this. So this one is going to take a little bit of time. All told, it'll take about an hour and a half, but don't worry, most of that is just going to be letting it sit doing different things. So you're not going to have to watch me here for an hour and a half. Don't worry about that. All right, so what you're going to want to do first is measure out 4 cups of your vinegar. Smells like vinegar. So we've got 1. And we've got 2. Three. And 4. And you'll just dump that right into your pot here. Okay, next we're going to be adding the baking soda. So, by the way, if you want to know the scientific names of some of these things, the vinegar is going to be acetic acid, and this is sodium bicarbonate. By the way, this is actually left over from a different science explosion that I'd done a while ago, and I'll hopefully just finish it off today. All right, so you're going to want to add it one at a time, and you're going to want to do it a little bit slowly here. So, do you know what happens when you add baking soda to vinegar? All right, it foams. You can probably even hear it a little bit on there. I don't know if I'll be able to get you to see that or not. Not really without me tipping it, but you can definitely hear it. So that's the first one, and we're going to let that foam out a little bit here. So normally, when you're working with baking soda and vinegar, the thing you're trying to get is that reaction here, but we're actually going for something completely different. We're going to get what's called the byproduct of that reaction. All right, so if you have seen, I'm going to do the second one here, so that's 2, and let it fizz out before you add the next one. If you've seen my video about what happens when you put limestone into vinegar, so that's my dissolving rocks video, then you will know what the results of that are. It's going to turn this into a couple different things here, and those are what we're going to be looking for. All right, and so if you've seen that video before, do you remember what the byproducts are? That's number 3. So after this, once it settles, we'll do one more. All right, so listen for that to stop fizzing here. All right, so we are making sodium acetate is going to be the main byproduct we're looking for. So if you remember that, what we were doing in that was growing crystals, and we made sodium acetate crystals that would grow on the limestone. And then the other byproduct is going to be water in here. So because this is all just dissolved, this is going to be sodium acetate dissolved in the water. All right, so that's pretty much done fizzing. So we can add one more. So the big reason why we're not adding it all at once is because it foams up quite a bit and you don't want it to foam over the container. There we go, 4. And we'll let that fizz down. Oh, look at that, I almost finished it off. That's okay, there's lots of uses for baking soda. All right, so if we know that the solutions, that's what it's called when I put two things together in here, and the byproducts of this are what I said before, the sodium acetate and water, why do you think I have it on a heat source? So I'm not going to tell you the answer right away to that. Oh, there's a little piece of gunk in there. I'm just going to fish that out. Probably wouldn't do anything to this, but part of this is that it's going to look cool when it's done, so I don't want to mess that up with just a piece of gunk in here. Okay, so what do you think? Why are we going to heat this up? Well, think about what happens when you heat something up, especially a liquid. All right, so if you've seen some of my other videos, you might be thinking about what happens, or maybe just in general, what happens when you heat up a liquid? Well, you can make it change its energy state. So turning it from a liquid into a gas, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing with this. So I want you to turn this off, or sometimes this one doesn't want to turn on, so I have to plug it back in. There we go. Sometimes it just really needs to think about that. So I'm going to turn it on to medium heat on here, and we're going to let that sit for an hour. So what we're going to be doing is changing a lot of this from a liquid into a gas. So basically what that means is we're going to be evaporating a lot of this. So we've got 4 cups plus 4 tablespoons full, and we're going to be reducing this down quite a bit. After an hour, it should only be less than a cup, probably like 3/4 of a cup. So I will see you again in just a little bit. All right, so welcome back. Now we are going to take this. It has simmered down to be about 3/4 of a cup, I'd say at this point. So we're going to turn the heat off, and then we're going to transfer it just by pouring it very carefully because this is hot into our container here. Oh yeah, I reduced it a little more than I needed to. That's about 1/2 cup. I think that'll still work. And then do not rinse this out. Set this aside, not on the heat, and you should notice that there's some crystals that are forming on the bottom of that. So when those dry out, you can scrape a few of those off. It should only take a second or two. And then you can put those in your container, or sorry, on your plate. So just put them in a little pile there. So that part is going to be important. That's going to make this work. All right, so now we're going to wait for 1/2 hour to 45 minutes here. And you're going to put this in the fridge for that amount of time. And then I'll see you after we do that. All right, welcome back everyone. So once you take your thing out of the fridge, then you're going to want to take it in the container and then pour it over your crystals. And then you should get, I say should because I'm going to show you what happened to me. You should get a tower that will form out of it. You'll want to slow it really slowly over your crystals. Now, what happened to me is that I poured it and it didn't give a reaction. So I was going to put it in the fridge for a little bit longer. But then as soon as I touched it just a tiny bit, it changed into this. So you should be getting a tower if you did it right, but I didn't do it quite right, and that is okay. Instead, mine turned into a solid mass. So you can see it's not a tower, but if you look, I still did make crystals out of this. So I'm actually setting it up again to be able to show you what it should look like after this. But I wanted to show you this process with it as well. So an important thing to consider here is that I did still get the crystals. It just isn't going to look nearly as neat. I'm going to try it again and hopefully make a tower one that'll be a lot more cooler looking. But you can see this still does look like ice in here. All right, so with the version that's supposed to happen and with this, still the same thing happened. When it's in this container, it's liquid in here, but as soon as you pour it out, it becomes a solid. Well, mine was liquid even in the pan, but when I moved it, then it turned into a solid. And I wish I had gotten this turned on in time to show you it spreading, because that actually looked really cool. And the reason that this worked is because it did something called supercooling. So that basically means that we have cooled this inside of here when it was liquid colder than the temperature that it takes for it to turn into a solid. But it just needs a tiny little push to turn into a solid. So when I poured it in here, what happened is usually the reason you need those little crystals in the bottom is those act as a catalyst or something that makes it react, and that spreads the crystals from there. But for some reason, mine didn't spread and it just formed a pool. But then when I moved it, that was enough of a catalyst to cause it to spread into this. And so you will see the real reason why this is called warm ice, even though the liquid itself wasn't terribly warm, or hot ice, is this is actually an exothermic reaction. So that means it gives off heat. So if you were to touch this, it's perfectly safe to touch. It feels warm, actually warmer than the liquid was itself. That's because when these chemicals react, they put off heat. So this was a really fun one. Thank you for joining me for this. Hopefully I'll have another part to add to this video of what this should look like at the very end. But thank you so much. Bye.